Hey guys, hey, it's me, Jimmy Lou from the Messy Craft Corner. I wanted to show you guys, I got a bigger box. I got a bigger box, you guys. So typically, when I'm doing my books, I put everything in a box, in one of these clear boxes or in a tray, like a basket tray. Well, I switched from doing the basket trays into these because they stack a little neater. And my plan is to have them stacked in the cabinet here in a bit. So like this is the normal size. Hang on, let me scoot this one out the way. This is the normal size. It's 12 by 12 and it is 3 inches deep. So this is like the normal size. In here I have my Reader's Digest stuff that we are starting to work on. I have my papers and stuff in another room. So this one, I'm going to turn it around this way so you can read the label. Here's what the label says. If it'll focus in. There we go. 12 by 12 store and keep. Okay, storage keeper. This was on sale for $5 at Michael's. And it is 6 inches deep. So because I'm working on 2 books at the same time, I didn't want to keep going in and out of 2 separate boxes. So, so I went ahead and I put them all into this, put it all into this box. So when I open up my box, you can see I have my sewing book here. It still has its clips on it from when we fixed the spine. Here's the one that we took the spine out of. And here's the spine. Larry did get the rings out of it for me. So here's the one that we're actually going to put 3 signatures into. And then in here is all of my stuff that I've been collecting or making or that kind of stuff. You know, we did journaling cards. All that stuff is in here for right now. But check this out, guys. When I was cleaning off the desk today, I found a few more things that I want to chuck into this box. So check it out. Teeny had sent me a box a while ago with some things in it. And there is this little, I have no idea what she was doing with it or going with it. But I really love the colors of the paper. So I thought we can make something. We can do something with the paper and the lace trims and stuff that are on here. So that's going in the box. Check this out. It's a kitten paper doll. It's a sewing doll to practice your sewing. See, but it looks like a kitten. Isn't it cute? So I thought this might be something that we'll use. And then I found this one that we made these a while ago that you open them up and they unfold and you can journal in. And I thought, well, it has flowers on it, so maybe we might put it in the flower journal. And then the more I thought about it, we can fancy it up with some sewing stuff. So that's going in. Then I found, you know, just some lace trims. And this, these are flat back pearls that are sticky. That's going in. And then check this out. Isn't she pretty? Isn't she pretty? She's going in. Here's a little piece of a ruler. There's a chair for like some upholstery. We might be covering upholstery. Here's a perfume bottle, a bigger perfume bottle. And then here's a pair of shoes, you guys. And then I also am putting in, I'm getting this out because I think I'm going to use that. No, it's not going to be big enough to do it. Well, that goes that. But I'm tossing this in because if we do a fabric sample page or something like that, we could do that. So, and then this book, I just keep handy wherever because, you know, we can use these. First of all, you can cut the words out, make ephemera that way. You can put these books into your junk journals and all. So this book, I just keep handy on my desk here for when I want to do all of those things. So, there was a question about, should you guys be doing your own pages and stuff or wait for guide? That is up to you. If you guys have junk journal experience and you all want to do some things in your books, by all means, it's your book. You could do what you like. Okay, let me move this out of my way because this is just going to be in the way. And I want you to know that some of the papers for my pages are going to come from this Park Lane Heirloom collection. And if you look in this collection, you'll see there's measurers. This looks like faux leather. There's some that look like fabrics. you know, obviously not a map, but this is just some plain, like, vintagey looking white. Here's some that look like letters or handwriting. So there's stuff in here that we could use. Those are library cards, dictionary pages, just all kinds of fun things that we can actually use as our pages in this book. So we're going to talk about, I feel like this week is signature week. It's signature week around here at the Messy Craft Corner, let me tell you now. Because I feel like that's just what I've been doing all week. There's some paper that could be used for journaling. So this is called the Heirloom Collection. And it's by Park Lane. That is Joanne Fabrics. So, but obviously you guys can find paper in other places. And then I did get paper. And I was looking for where it is because I stuck it over here. Here's a piece of, there's some bingo paper. So what you want to start doing is start gathering some things that you want. This goes for the sale. But somewhere here I did have, no joking, some paper that we had started making some fun things with. Here's those stencils that I bought for this specifically. It's got to be here somewhere. Here's Dr. Seuss. So we're going back pretty far, you guys, in the pile o' crap. That's what I like to call it, the pile o' crap. It's the pile of stuff that I have that needs to be put away, and I just seem to never take the time to put it away. Who else has a pile of crap in their craft room? Let me go get my computer so I can get some comments rolling, because I have no comments right now. And we're going to talk about signatures. What kind of things do you think should be in a signature in this journal? Go ahead and tell me in the comments. Doo-dah, doo-dah. Whew. And then I also had bought this paper, you guys. It's cardstock by Stamperia, and it's the Romantic collection. It's romantic, y'all, with all the sewing stuff in it. And we're going to be using this to create some things in this book as well. And don't forget, I'm doing 2 books side by side. So we can do them 2 slightly different. We can do one using this and one doing the other. Now, as far as the papers and the pages that are on the inside, what is happening with my computer? I kind of have them all. Oops, here's Fred and Ginger. I pulled them all out. One is in the bottom of that bin, and this is the one from this section here. So let's just talk for a second here about this. Okay, this all goes up here. So what kind of things from here do you want to put into your journal over here? Now listen, I clipped this down, but it's still popped up. That can happen. So let me just show you. The paper that I used to cover to make the fold a little cleaner, it just popped up right there. So all I need to do is, when my hot glue is hot, I'm going to just hot glue it. Because for some reason it's just not wanting to stick. But so the book itself is our book base. So you have one that has the rings in it. I have one that I extended and I made fatter. I gave it a nice big chubba-lubs. My computer is not turning on, you guys, and I have no comments. I don't think it's maybe the battery's dead. Oh, I have no comments, you guys. Okay, here we go then. We're just gonna go right along. So anyways, you guys, oh, now I have comments. Roberta is here. Something popped there and made Roberta talk. Okay, so what are some things that you want to keep in your book? That is the 3-ring. And what are some things that you want to go if you're doing the one with the 3 signatures? Now, it's going to be 1, 2, 3 signatures in this book, okay? The one that I took Larry got the rings out for me. Now I can see it. Chris Little, now I can see it. So this we're going to make into like a bookmarker that we're going to find a nice home for in this book. The fabric seemed to really glue down well. The paper didn't do as well. There's Sandy. Hello. Oh, thank goodness. I'm going to have to plug this computer in. For whatever reason, on my page, I can see messages on my page, or I can see things on my page. But is Giselle here? Giselle was helping me last time to put people into the group who were asking as I was live, because I don't have the ability to do it without my computer. So we're just going to add a little glue. It is snowing here in Pennsylvania, quite hard, let me tell you. They had no school today. The kids did, not that that matters to me, because Larry still goes to work. So, you know, it is what it is. Okay, so the signatures for your book. Someone did ask on the page about, you know, were we going to do this book together? Yes. When I started up this group, yes, Roberta. It took me starting up this group because I wanted to keep all of this in one place. So keep in mind, I have this group. I have the group for the Reader's Digest. I have my Bookmakers Club group plus my main page plus filming stuff for TikTok, Reels, all of that stuff. So I had promised when I started this group that 2 times a month we would work on the book together. So if you are an experienced junk journaler and you want to do some of the things yourself, then by all means, you know, do it. Knock yourself out. All of those things, okay? Because you can. If you're not, and you're expecting this to go quickly, it's not going to go as quickly as you might hope to. So let's talk about this. This book here with the rings in it, obviously you can just pop this open and you can pick whatever you want to go into this book to go in there. Now, some of your pages might have damage. Amy, no. Hold on. Amy lives down in town. The traffic is moving on the mountain, Amy. If he takes his time, he should be okay. They salted earlier, but they haven't plowed for a little bit. But maybe by the time he leaves, they will have plowed. So see how it has this? So maybe I don't want to use this one for in here. So you want to be really picky about what you're going to add. So I don't care about the table of contents because, you know, we can use some of this stuff for tags and whatever. I did kind of care about this, but I do have a second one. No joke. The second one is in a little bit nicer of a shape. So you just have to pick and choose what you want to go in to your ring bound, okay? You're still gathering supplies, yes. So something like this has nothing to do with the sewing book at all. So I just put that to the side. Here's the send for a free pattern. I really like this lady. I'm very, very tempted. So here's the divider for section 1. Okay. I want to use all of the dividers for the junk journal. So here's section 1. And I'm just showing you what I'm kind of picking out and what I'm using. So, you know, you might want to pick out things like, here's a plan for action. I really like the thing with the wardrobe. That to me is kind of important to go into the junk journal, the wardrobe part. Because, you know, try and send for, I guess, like, what could they do but to send back and say the pattern's no longer available. Include 50-cent check or money order to cover the cost of mailing. The cost of a stamp costs more than that now. So I do like this section. The entire section here is do wonders with your wardrobe. So, you know, we might end up taking some of it out or using it as paper, but that's going in there. So Then here is section 2, your blueprint. And so these I am not, the one we altered, it's in my other case. So one we altered, one we did not. So you can alter these. Just what your job should be doing right now is deciding what do you want to go into. Now, I'm sticking all of this in here right now, and I'll decide later. So what if I want to add something to this book that's not in here? Something like, you know, some of the paper and stuff. This is bingo. I tried to cut it on my cutter, and it took a poop on me. So let's just grab something from this paper collection right here. And this is paper. It's not actually cardstock, which I more prefer the cardstock, but so might possibly that. And we have this. Okay, so I want to add something to this section using some paper, some cardstock, whatever. So what you can do is grab yourself some cardstock. Let me grab some. Okay, so here's a piece of cardstock. Actually, 2 pieces. Because it's paper and I'm not sewing anything in. Yeah, if they're in the group, you can sprinkle to them. If they're not in the group, you won't be able to get them. Okay, but see, like, look at some of the pages are torn and stuff. Okay, so we have this one. They're 5.5 by 8 3/4. So 8.5 is going to have to be good enough. So 5.5. I can actually get 2 pieces added on to this. Okay, if I take off an inch of this, cutting it down to 10, and I score this. Now, we're only talking about the 3 rings. Only the 3 rings. It's a group. That's why you can't share it to another group. You can share the group and say, hey, this is a really cool group. But you can't share it you can't share the live. Okay, so 5.5. I just scored this at 5.5. And don't worry, I don't even get monetized on these videos in the group here, so it doesn't even matter. It's fine. I did this for you guys, so that way, you guys can have all of this junk journal in one place. You have to get paper, gems, and make things. Yes, Dana. Sometimes it's just a matter of pulling your stuff out and having a little fun with the patterns and stuff, okay? So here's this. I cut this down. It's 5.5. Then we have this flap. Now, you can create a pocket. We can make it into a pocket. But this will 3-hole punch, and it'll go into the book. So let's do this. Let's cut this down. This is, we're going to cut it 4 1/4 by 8 1/4. 4 1/4 by 8 1/4. And we're going to mat this right on there. And just look at how pretty that would look matted. Now, you can ink your pages if you want. I forget. I get going. We started with this book right here. It's a 3-ring bound sewing book. If you go back to the first videos, last time we met, I showed how to, I'm still going to have to fix that. That is just being a bugger. The last time we met, I showed what to do to fix spines. And if your spine was really damaged, how to take it and create your own spine. So right now we're only talking about stuff that we're putting into this book to create this sewing journal. Right, what did I do with what I was working on? Hello, I had it a second ago. Here it is. So we can put this on here, just like so. We can mat that back page. We need to cut that down to 5 1/4 by 8 1/4. 5 1/4. We're going to lose a little bit of this, the edge of this like writing paper here. 5 1/4 by 8 1/4. And we're going to go 8 1/4. I don't want to do that. 8 1/4. There we go. I just wanted it to not have the red at the top and the bottom. So this can go onto here then, like this. Okay? So, and then you can mat the rest of your book, or your page there with other papers. 5 1/4. And then we'll do 8 1/4. Okay. And this is just like some graph paper. So this kind of makes it sort of cool for you to write on, to journal on. Or even if you add a photo to it, it just makes it fun. All right, so we have this here. And this one here. And then our flipper flapper. I want to get something different to add there. So hang on one second. Let me grab another piece of paper. Keep all of your scraps because this is good for making tags and other things as well. So I just noticed the back side of my book back here is splitting. Remember I told you this stuff could happen in working with it. So what I want to do is I'm going to be taking some Fabri-Tac. I'm not going to do it now, but just if this happens to you. Oh, there you go. I'm going to squirt some glue in here, and I'm going to set something heavy on this. I'm going to let it dry. I probably will add some lace or something to the edge just to protect it because, you know, and this has major ding-dongs on the thing there. Okay, let me grab another piece of kind of coolish paper that'll just look cool. Okay. So we need 4 1/4 by 8 1/4. By 8 1/4. Okay, so this is how you can make some pages to go in your journal. Is very basic. Okay, this was very, very basic. I took the paper, I cut it down to 10 inches, the cardstock. I scored it at 5 1/2 and I folded it. And then I just cut my papers 1/4 of an inch smaller than the rest, and I'm piecing it in here. Then all I'm going to do is I'm going to take this piece here. See how it's torn? Oh, look at how cool she is. Oh, we're going to use her. We're going to use her. And mark where my holes go out here. And then this will fold and open and it's a flapper. I know the one book that I had was really good shape. And you guys know what happened to me. I dropped it on the floor and it broke the spine. The impact was just, it was too much. And the book took a dirt nap. So we're going to use that little spindle lady because she is cool. So then you're just going to glue this up. So what you want to do is, now tell me in the comments, who is keeping the rings and making a junk journal using the rings, and who is sewing in signatures? Because we're going to talk about sewing in signatures here in a minute. Okay, so this is one way you can do this to create pocket-like stuff. Okay. So there's that. I kind of like that because it's kind of hidden when you have it in there. And this was just 65 weight. A lot of you are going to use the rings, it looks like. Okay, so I want to, now remember, I'm doing two side by side, so you can kind of decide as we go along what you want to do. So I'm going to try to squeeze you guys in again next week. Larry has some classes that he's been taking for his job, and I want to, I have some extra time next week. Because, see, my time is, listen, my time is kind of wild. Because Larry goes to work very early in the morning. And I go back to bed. I don't get up until 8, 9 o'clock. Some mornings it's a little later, I hate to say. But, look at how cool this is. But that's me, okay? So do you have to sort of know how many pockets you want, waterfalls, etc. when you get your papers together? Yeah, you kind of should know what you want to do here. Now, we can do waterfall in this book using just the 5.5, just a sheet like this. We can add a waterfall. We can totally do that. Tell me in the comments, do you guys want to see how to do a waterfall? We can do that today. We can do that next time. We can do all the things. Okay. So we have this little lady. Let's just get my scissors. And some of y'all just went, she's cutting that apart. But remember, I said from the beginning that all of the pages were not going to make it into the book. But we're going to make her really cool. Okay, you guys want to see to do a waterfall. All right, we'll do a waterfall, but I can't say that I'll decorate it today. We'll just, because I like to do my waterfalls, and then as I have extra, like the extra pieces, then I can add them. So I'll show you how to add a waterfall. So those of you who are doing a ring bound, you can do it this way. You can also do it this way if you're doing a regular like sewn in signature. So let me talk about the sewn in signatures for 1 second. Don't you guys let me forget. Okay, so look at how cool she's going to look. We're going to put her right here. And then we have some, this says basic materials, know your fabric, fibers made to fabric. This is kind of interesting. Fibers are divided into 2 groups, natural and man-made. Natural fibers, wool, silk, cotton, and linen, come from plants or animals. Many have been improved from the natural state through the use of special finishes. Man-made fibers come from a test tube. The many kinds of man-made fibers are often better known by their trade names than by their generic names. Well-known trademarks are listed with each generic grouping of fibers in this chapter. Kind of cool. So let's just, we're going to tear this down, tear this across. Ooh, wait for the wagon. Hang on 1 second. Do you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to mark where we're going to put those holes. So just grab a pencil out on your outer edge out there and just kind of give it that little circular trace around kind of thing. So we're just tearing this off. So we just tore that down. And I think, what do I want to do here? Maybe we just want to do that and then put this in here. That looks pretty good. Yeah, sometimes I can and sometimes I can't. Sometimes it depends on Larry. It really does. It depends on just how much he feels like talking in the morning. Because sometimes he's a bop, 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 and I want to say, shut up already. Just stop. Because you're driving me cray-cray. You're driving me cray-cray. But, other times it's like, oh, I wish he talked to me a little more in the morning because I needed to get up and do some things. So, okay. Okay, so here's this one too. See, I feel like I want to do that, but it's going to cover something important. So we're going to add this one back here. And then we have, you can add places for photos. You can journal and write on these. do all the things. Yep, there are a lot of books that you can use to make a sewing book, to make a sewing journal. I just really liked this idea of doing this one. And I do have some really good ideas that I craft napped from TikTok. I know a lot of you don't have TikTok nor have a desire to have TikTok, but there's a lot of really good ideas over there, and I don't mind. They're all about take them, use them, share them, tell other people about it. So I'm like, okay. All right, so here's one hole. Hang on, I need to take my pencils out of here and sharpen them. It's also time for Jimmy Lou to clean her tools. Tools need to be cleaned. There's 2. And here's 3. Okay, so there, see, now I have my holes in there. And I can take this piece. And this is the basic materials. That's what we were talking about back here. That's this section. And now I have a page that I can add on. I might have to get a bigger hole punch for this project because the holes are a little bigger than my hole puncher is. But genuinely, you're getting the right idea that it's adding. I now just added a page to this, okay? So if you want to do a waterfall, I'm going to recommend starting with a base that's 110-pound cardstock. On the holes, on the one that you're doing the 3-ring holes. Okay. If you're doing a book that you're folding and you're creating signatures, let's just talk about that for a second. You want your pages to be very similar in size for the pages that you took out. And there's 2 reasons. We're going to talk about the 2 reasons here in a second. First of all, hang on, I need to grab my other, oops, I dropped my man and lady. Inside here, inside out. Boy, you turned me inside out. Okay, come on now. Where are my other pages? They're in here. They're here somewhere. Well, shoot. Maybe they're not. Okay, I thought I had my other pages that I tore out. Shoot. Where did I put those at now? They're here somewhere. If I'm going to do sewing pages, you definitely want your pages to be as high as this. So if I was doing this and I wanted to use this as a signature, we could just score it in half at the 5.5 mark. We can do this. We can do our pages a little bigger in a sewn in signature. So if I fold this in half, it's going to be 6 inches instead of 5.5. Okay. So 6 inches is still going to have plenty of room for a sewn in piece. Okay. I can go as far up to 7 inches. Okay. I can't do that with 12 by 12 paper, but other things like, where are you? So when I fold the bingo paper in half, okay, never mind. Skip that. But, oh, well, we could do it this way. If I want to add for a signature this bingo paper, and I'm not adding the bingo paper, but if you had something kind of cool like this that you wanted to add, you could add it like this. Okay? Not saying that you can't use bingo paper in this, because you obviously can. But you don't feel like you have to. I have so many ideas. Like, my brain is going bing, 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 bing. Come on, Jimmy, focus. Okay, but height-wise, we want to go, I'm probably going to go like 9.5 inches high. 9 3/4. 9 3/4 high. High. 9 3/4 high. Remember, keep all of your papers because you can use them for trims and all kinds of things, okay? So then you just fold your paper in half, like so. And this is the starting of a signature. Other things that you can use folded in half like that for a signature are, you guessed it, doilies. One of my favorites to use. What is happening here? Doilies are one of my favorites to use as part of the signature. Now you saw me do, no, I do not. I should, but I do not have a book of ideas. I should. I really, really should, but I don't. So that's kind of stinks. But so anyways, then I need to be making 3 signatures. You forgot to write down the measurements. For what? Because I'll give measurements again. Just tell me what I need to give again. Oh, geez. My daughter, Elizabeth Garcia, she goes, I'm having a pending question. Get this. I can't decide between these 2 pack and plays. What is the urgency into which she had sent me that first message? Both have the bassinet insert that has them up higher, but Amazon has one. The Amazon one has a different bassinet. Oh. And I'll tell you, I can guarantee you, I ordered them on Amazon. I need to order more. If there are supplies that you need, okay, and you say, I can't find them, I don't want 1,000 doilies because I order them like in huge packs because all of my craft kits that go out, they get one. Yep, the waterfall. We're going to do that. I didn't do it yet. So you want to start folding the things to go into your book. Now listen, I have to find my other papers. Where did I put those? They're here somewhere. I'm telling you guys. But if I want to add, say, this to a sewn-in signature, now I have a problem. So let's talk about how to fix the problem, okay? Because that's kind of important. What you need, this is perfect. Look at that, perfect. This is a 1-inch piece, just of cardstock. Lay it on your scoreboard, and I've already lost my scoring tool, and score it at 1/2 inch. Okay, this is what's called a connector piece. So you just fold this in half, and then you're just going to glue this one on one side and one on the other. I have to find my other papers wherever they are, and then I'll do this for some of these. So one on one side and one on the other side, just like so. And then this whole piece, if it's glued down, I'm very hesitant right now to do this because I don't have my other pieces. I wanted to do it with this part here. Well, you know what? We're just going to do it. There's 4. And here's 5. And I'll find them after this. Okay, so if I just glue this down, just add a line of glue. This glue bottle is about to get it, you guys. Yeah, I like the thimble hat too. That was kind of cool. All right, so just like so, we're going to do this. We're going to place this down right here. I'm not going to get it where I can't fold it over. Okay, that's important. Keep that in mind. That's real important there, you guys. All right, press that down. I'm going to do the same thing with this one on this side, just like this. And then these sections will go in the signature. Okay, so this will fold over, and this will be part of the signature, which I'm super excited to do this with this book. Okay, so let's just do this. And I'm planning to do a few of these into, what am I doing here? Make sure you're putting it on the right direction so it's not upside down. Just like so. Okay, now, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to grab something. I don't know what we're grabbing. Hang on a second. Let me see. What do I want to grab? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Here we go. This will work. Oh, it's a little wider than I wanted. Shoot. You know what we can do? Okay, so what I'm going to tell you to do is take some ribbons, fibers, and that kind of stuff and glue it onto here. And that'll just cover up those holes and it'll just make it look cuter. But I remembered that I have some. You can also use ribbon. Don't feel bad about using ribbon. This is very pretty. That needs to go in my flower journal or something. You can use ribbon if you want to do this. Or you can use, like, these are sewing trims. Okay. And I think the sewing trims will look cute. But I think I like the lace better. This lacy stuff. So it's a real thin lace. And we'll just go right over the edge like that. And then it's not going to cause too much bulk. You were able to find one of these books. Oh, there you go. There is way more in here than you could possibly use for one book. She is absolutely 100% correct. So what you guys can do is in this group, if you have things that you want to trade or offer up like she just did, feel free to make a post in the group. So that way everyone can kind of see it and know that they can do that they can message you. How cool is that? All right, so here's this. Let's add this down. Not stick your finger in it, Jimmy Lou, because the glue, if you didn't know it, is H-O-T. So there's that piece. But see, now we have a piece like this that folds in half. Okay. And when we put it into the signature, like so, it now becomes part of the signature. So this just needs some along here, right? On the outside here. Yep, you can add some very pretty papers along there if you want, little strips of something. If you have fabric that matches kind of what they got going on there, oh my goodness, just think on that. Okay, I am not being very mindful to trim up any extras that are sticking up over the top. I say, let it go, because that's just fun. Okay, so what you're going to be doing is you're going to be working on, yeah, the salvage edges of fabric would look absolutely really pretty along there. So, I'll just look at this pretty little flower. Look at how pretty. So then you can add some things like pockets or things like that onto these, but it adds something to it, okay? So if you're sewing in signatures, you want to build signatures with things like the pages with the connectors, like I just showed you. Paper doilies are great because you have this place for writing. You can also do some clusters and things on it, which I'll show you at another time. Hey, Kathy Angel. And then some of your papers, okay? And each sewn in signature, if you're sewing in the signature, each of those you want to have between 12 and 15 papers, okay? So, and then I'm not going any bigger than 7 inches out if we do, you know, add anything out this way. So then these signatures, we'll work on putting the rest of these together, and I'll show you how to sew them in next time. Do the doilies hold up? Yes, they do, because I don't just leave them. I add things to them. Like on this one, we could add this as a scrap of paper here. And I mean, obviously, this is not a book that you can give to a 4-year-old and expect that they're not going to tear pages out of it, because even the paper can be torn, okay, on any of the junk journals. It's meant to be handled in a way that's a little nicer. But if you add some things to it, even if you add like a little cluster down at the bottom down here, it strengthens it. You like the idea of doing it in a group like this. Okay, that's something for me to definitely consider. So, and it's all in one place. So keep keep working on what you want to do if you're sewing in the signatures. But today we're really focusing in on the things we want to add to the sewing journal. And you guys asked me to show how to do a waterfall. So let me just I want to mark something here because we're adding something and there's a lot of room at the edge, we can make this a little bigger. Okay, so let me just do a little marking here and see how big that is. Cut it down to 7 inches. So 7 inches, and then you want to make it not, it has to stay within, I can't make it the full length that I want because of these. So it has to stay within this. And that was 8.5 high. So we can actually go to the 8 3/4 that the original pages were. So 8 3/4 high. And then I did by 7 inches wide. Okay, so this is going to be like a base page that we're going to punch the holes in it. We're going to poke our holes. In fact, no, I don't need to mark that yet. So you want to add a base piece of paper on this just to kind of make it look sort of pretty and all the things. But you also, if you're going to do a magnetic flip closure, now's the time to add that. Okay. Yeah, absolutely. The length of the page is 8 3/4 high, and then the width of it is 7 inches. And then this was just the cutoff piece. It's 1.5 inches, and I'm going to cut it down to 7.5. Okay, 7.5, and I'm scoring it at 1/2 inch down here on the bottom. Okay. Just like so. And then I'm going to attach this on the bottom down here. Now I'm doing this before I add the decorative paper, because when I add the decorative paper, then it's going to cover up that little flapper piece. Okay. So let's add this. Also, it seems like in a group we have less trolls. My goodness. In the past 2 days, you should have seen the men commenting on the lives over on my page. I could not believe it, you guys. I was like, man, I hope these ladies don't think that I'm not like, oi, I'll just tell you what. Okay, so there we go. This is going to be our little closure, and we'll add magnets to it to hold it closed. Okay, let me just scoot this out my way. All right, now if you want to do your your waterfall. That's what I'm trying to use my words today. You want to use your waterfall. Let me grab some paper here and just bring it over. We just need paper over here. Oh, we want to cut our decorative paper. Get organized, Jimmy Lou. The ladies are watching. Okay, so we're going to do 6 3/4 by 8.5. So 8.5. And then by 6 3/4. Now, let me tell you, if you're doing a sewn in signature with your other one, you can just take a piece of cardstock. Don't use 110 pound because it gets too thick. But, and then you can just score this in half, fold this in half, just like so. And you can add this into your signature that we were talking about, the signature that we started building on here. You can tuck this into the signature there. And then on this, build a waterfall. Okay? So we're going to talk about how do you build the waterfall. Jimmy Lou, how do you do it and know what sizes to add things? Okay. Let me just, maybe if you guys see it in writing. A 4x6 photo, if you want it to hold 4x6 photos, okay, the 5 by 8.5 is going to need to hold 3x5s, okay? But a 4x6 photo, you need to go up. Okay, so you want to add a mat, So you need your base page to be 4.5 by 6.5. And here's the thinking. Okay. 4.5 by 6.5 will hold a 4 by 6 photo, because if you add a mat at 4.25 by 6.25, this is the size that you need. But from top to bottom, you actually need it to be 5 by 6.5. Let me show you why. Let me get that paper. I put it into that other book. I was looking for where I put it. Okay, so let's go 6.5. You want to get the most out of your paper that you can. So 6.5 by 5. And you're going to score it at 1/2 inch. Okay, so when this is folded over to make the piece for the waterfall, it now is 4.5. 4.5 by 6.5. So 4.5, here's my extra 1/2 inch for my flap, 6.5. Now when I add my decorative paper will be 4.25 by 6.25. Okay, then it will hold a 4 by 6 photo, and it will be framed out by 1/4 inch of a piece. Yep, it's easy to forget the 1/2 inch score mark, so try not to forget that. So here's 5 inches here and 1/2 inch here. So if I was doing this for a 3 by 5 photo, I would cut them 3 by 5. So I would do a 5.5, and then I would do 3.5, 4. 4 by 5.5. Okay, so to hold a 4 by 6 photo, you need 5 by 6.5. Score it over here at 1/2 inch. For 3 by 5, 4, you're going to score the 4 at 1/2 inch. And then you'll have the 3.5 by 5.5 that you need. I hope I did not confuse anybody. If I did, I'm really, really sorry. But I'm just telling you that because it will depend on what size that your paper is going to be that you're going to put into your thing. Now, I did not make it as big as this because we have to go over to the edge over here, because we have to have room for the clearance to flip the book back and forth. Everybody with me? All right, let's glue this down. I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about, because we have to punch holes. I'm telling you, this one is really getting on my nerves today. My little glue bottle. So it is snowing like the dickens here in Pennsylvania. What is it like where you're at? So this paper just has some numbers on it, which I think is good for a sewing book because you think measuring. Okay, just like so. Okay, here's my little flapper, because when I add these, now I wasn't thinking when I added the flapper should have been over a little bit because we need that place for the holes. Blue skies and 26 degrees. I think it's about 26 here. I'm not exactly sure. Okay, let's just grab one of these. And we're going to lay this out here. And we're going to poke our holes here, here, and here. So before I punch that first hole, I want to make sure that I'm not punching the hole where it's going to interfere with the waterfall. Because you don't want it where you can't flip your waterfall. That would be not very nice. There's two. Here's the third one down here. Okay, so now we're good to start adding our waterfall pieces. So, in fact, what I think I want to do, I'm not even joking, is I think I want to work on it, adding those pieces right into the page, or into the book, okay? So here's the book. Here's the piece that I'm adding. Like I said, I need to get a little bit bigger of a hole punch. My hole punch, the biggest hole in my hole punch isn't big enough. But when I add this on here, see, it'll clear those rings. But you got to make sure you have enough room. So we're going out to the edge is where we're going with this, okay? I'm good. You're waiting for the snow and rain to start. Hi, Christy Stone. Hello, welcome. We're glad that you're here. Now, I'm going to show you how to do these. But what I'm not going to show you is the decorating part of it. Not at this point, because I want to wait. I want to work with my papers and my pages and really get the idea, because I wasn't really sure that I was going to do this anyways. So let's cut some of these. So let's cut these down. This was 6.5. 6.5. And then remember, by 5. 5. Ah! I'm cutting a bunch at once. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to score our 1/2 inch pieces. 1/2 inch, and we are going to round up the corners, you guys. There's 1. 2. You had snowstorm after snowstorm after snowstorm. Oh, Sandy, I'm sorry. I'm very sorry for those of you that are stuck dealing with the snow. This is actually only the second snowstorm that we had. And the first one, the snow was like, it was gone. Like gone. Done. Finito. Oh, what am I doing with my hole punch? I almost was going to punch a hole in it. So how many is this going to put on here? It's not going to put a whole lot, but it's going to put some, and it's going to give a specific place for photos. So there's 3, here's 4. And on a 3-ring binder, you can add several of these. If you, well, even in the sewn-in signature, there's enough room in this chubby little book that I'm making to do more than one of these waterfalls. Can we use other items? No. Oh, wait, never mind. That was not for you guys. That was for an event that I'm in. Oh, you're in a brace now? Hey. That's okay, Rita. Come on in, baby, take a coat off. Come on in, baby, take a load off. Listen, I am in a very happy mood today, if you guys haven't noticed. All right, I have to watch my time because I'm going to have to go soon because I'm making a beef pot pie, a beef pie. It's beef and gravy with, beef and gravy, and then it has, what does it have in it? Potatoes. I put vegetables in it. Why is this giving me such a hard time? Okay, I think this last one here will be plenty. And then you guys have seen me add, what size are the book rings? It's the book rings that were in the book itself. It's the spiral bounds, whatever this is. If you're going to dissect it and use book rings to only use the front and back cover and add things the way that we are, I highly recommend 2-inch book rings. These are 2-inch. They're nice and big. It's not hard. It's not hard. I go to the store. I go to the store and I get a pie crust. No joke. I get a pie crust. And after I have a beef roast, I can my beef and gravy. So I put all of my leftover beef, I pick it all apart, put all the good stuff in, and I make the gravy, make more if I need it, and then I put the gravy and the beef in the jars and I can it. Okay? Because I use a pressure cooker canner so it's safe to can meats. And then what I do is, so when I'm making, I go to the store and I buy a pie crust. You can make your own pie crust. But I buy a pie crust and then I peel about 4 to 6 potatoes, depending on how big my potatoes are, and I put it in the pie crust. I toss it in the pie crust, you guys. Yeah. And then, so then I dice those up to about, the size that will fit in Larry's big mouth. And, I can corn, can peas, because we like peas, we like corn, but you can add frozen mixed vegetables, you can add frozen corn, frozen peas, whatever kind of vegetable that you like. A lot of times I call it leftover pie. Okay, I know, I very seldom do too. And you know what happened to me, you guys? I did a run of beef and it was so good. The beef was so good. Oh my gosh, I buy extra when the kids come. I don't usually go to all the work of a beef roast for just Larry and I. But that was too much glue. I bought this beef roast and I canned it. And a few days after I canned it, I said to Larry, "Do you smell something bad?" The darn beef roast went bad. The one, not all of it, just the one jar. Oi, Jimmy Lou, look at all the glue that oozed out of there. Put your first piece for your waterfall down. Okay, make sure it's stuck before you move on to the second piece. Now, I'm using my decorative paper as the guide to the edge of the book page. Okay, and then you just keep adding these one right after the other underneath. Okay, here's the next one. Then I take that pie and I stick that pie in the oven and I bake it for about 40 minutes, I guess. I do it with turkey, I do it with chicken, I do it with beef. We do it with all different kinds. In fact, when the kids were little, I used to make 1 beef, 1 chicken. And because they loved it. Loved it. The 5 of us would eat 2 pies, no joking. So you just keep building your waterfall pieces by adding till you get down to where it's like at the bottom, okay? That's okay, Debbie Fritz. We still like you. So, you know what I would love to see? I would love to see if you guys will take a picture and put the picture in the group, on the page. Just be like, this is some of the paper I'm using. I would love to see what kind of paper you guys have decided to use for your journals. Whether you bought like a certain paper pad or you just had something in your stash that was old. Don't forget to tell us where you got it from. So that way, we're not asked, you're not getting bugged with questions of where'd you get it? Where'd you get it? But I would love to see what papers. Like I showed you, I'm using the Heirloom collection. I have Haberdashy too, that I'm going to use some of that paper in both of these. Yep, then you make a little extra gravy to put over the top of it, and it's so good, you guys. Oh my Lanta, it is so good. I don't even mix it in a bowl. I just toss it right into the pie shell, because once you cut it up and you smush it up with your fork to eat it, it's gonna be about that amount anyways. Okay, I think, yeah, this should have 2 more. This should actually have 2 more of these, which I'll do later, because I have one more thing I want to do with you guys today, and that involves the spine for the one that we cut off. Larry took it to his job. They have some kind of, I don't know. He was explaining it to me, and I gotta say, I didn't even listen to him. I love him, but I wasn't really listening to how he said he did it. But anyways, it's some kind of like tool, and it just ground off the grommet pieces because I told him it didn't matter to me if I had the grommets or not. Because I'm going to replace it with this anyways. And, and then he brought it home. So, but I want to finish showing you this. And like I said, we'll add more decorative papers as we go along, to the waterfall. So you guys can be working over the next 2 weeks on adding pages to your signatures. Now, when we get together the next time, so then you just fold that down. This will fold up. Again, there's going to be 2 more, so it will go all the way to the bottom. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I could have got 10 on there, which means that's a place for 20 photos. The size of the paper that for my book, I cut it to 7 inches by 8 3/4. You don't want to go any higher. I could have went out a little wider because of the room that the book actually has in it. But you can put this anywhere in the book. I'm just going to stick it in. I'm going to put it in right in the front. And the reason I'm putting it right in the front is I really want to protect this complete sewing book. It may not stay there. It's going to go wherever. Take 2 flat magnets. And I complained about the magnets being crappy to the company I bought them from. So they said, "Oh, we're sorry. Let us replace them." And I was like, "Oh, that's very kind of you." And do you know what happened? The magnets they sent me are just as crappy. So I have requested a refund. I said, "You guys, this is too much." So, anybody have any questions about the waterfall? Okay, so I added double-sided tape to hold the magnet in place. I'm putting this piece here, and then I'm just dropping this magnet into place on top of the other one. And then that's how you can make it so when you fold this over and you press this down, it's going to hold that into place. And you don't have your magnet being in a weird spot, okay? So then this can go on here. So if you're doing a junk journal, yo! You guys, that smarted. It did not draw blood. Don't put your fingers in the way. Woo! That gave me an owie. Look it! Ouch. You guys saw that, right? Oh. Okay. I'll be adding 2 more pieces to that. I'm really surprised. Honestly, I'm surprised it didn't draw blood. That's how much it hurt. Whew. So you can just close this up then. And, you know, uh-oh. You guys, it's sticking out. It's sticking out. Shoot, I should have made it smaller. I should have made it smaller. You guys see that? Well, we'll talk about how to fix that next time, because I don't have time to do it now. Don't use those measurements. Don't use the measurements on it, guys. I'll get you measurements for 3.5 by 3 by 5 photos to do it. So, shoot. Not saying that I can't use this in my other journal, because I could, you know, cut this down. Don't do it again, Jimmy. No, keep your fingers out of the moving mechanisms. I could very carefully put it on my trimmer and trim it down, and then use this as, this will get used. It won't go to waste. I am really, really sorry. I should have paid a little closer to, I was like, oh yeah, it's fine. Looking at it laying out on the opposite side of this. Yeah, I'll just use it in a different, I'll use it in the other sewing book. If for some reason you don't really care about your covers, your front and back cover, and you don't mind covering this up, you could put this over the top here, you know. I could make a swing arm and add this as an addition onto the cover. So I'll figure out how I want to fix this, where I'm going to use it. but I will give you a waterfall if you're using the three ring circus. I almost said, oh, I can't believe I did that. Shoot. Okay, so the one thing I want to do is this part here. This was the spine off the other one. It's got some flaky pieces, so I'm just going to use my scissors and we're going to trim it down. We're just going to, you can use a blade if you feel more comfortable using a blade and a straight edge. I'm just a little more comfortable just trimming that excess paper off back here. Okay, so now it's kind of nice and taken care of. Let's nip that off. And we'll do the same thing here. Just trim off that excess paper. You can feel where the chipboard for the spine starts and ends. Okay, so now what you want to do is all of this part here that's kind of like pulling up and stuff, you want to glue. So I'm just taking my book glue and I'm going right along the edges here. And then I'm just going to use my finger and we're going to pinch it and spread it. And this will get added as a bookmark to my book. Okay. So just like so. Now, as that dries, it'll get a little harder. I did. After I got my finger caught in there, yeah, it sprained it a little bit. But Larry knows how to fix that, so I'll let him fix it. So we're going to do the same thing here. We're just going to add. This is bookbinding glue. This is exactly what this glue is intended for, is to fix spines and all the things. So we're just going to, I'm just spreading and pinching. I'm pressing it down in there, you guys. Woo! Got me some good glue. Hang on a second. Let me get a wipe. Okay, now what I want to do, could we cut the sewing, book binding, and then collage the pieces onto chipboard? Yeah, Debbie, you can. Quite honestly, if you have someone who can drill it out, Larry said even if someone has a good drill with a good drill bit, they could zzz right through there, through that rivet, because it's a rivet. And he went in from the inside, because I told him I didn't care about the rings. He went in from the inside and he zzz, okay? So now what we're going to do is we're going to cover it with some really pretty, some of this paper with the measurements on it. I just thought would be a good piece for this. And we're going to cut it right there. Okay. So I'm just adding this glue onto this paper. And we're just putting the paper right on there. And just pressing it down. Now, it is a little bit on the rounded side, so just work with it some. I imagine eventually, if I sat it under a couple dictionaries, I imagine it would really, like, press it out. Okay. So we're going to use one of these. These are those little pulls that I've been using. And we're going to use, oh shoot, I should have added these on. That's okay. I'm not too concerned. I should have added these into these holes before I put the paper on, and then put the paper on over top. But that's okay. Just take your brads. These are yellow. I get these from Shauna at Fraps and Scraps. So will you put measurements on the group so we can get started? Base page, decorative page, and waterfall pages. Robin, I can. We can go over here at the end. Let me just do this part and then we'll go over it here at the end. So at the top right up here, I'm just taking my hole punch and I'm lining it up right above where that brad ends, and we're just going to punch a hole. I know I covered a hole and I punched a hole, and then we're just going to add one of these. You know why? Because we'll make some dangles and stuff to go on here, and it'll look really cute. So it has a screw, and you can use the screwdriver to screw it in, but I do it with my fingers, and it just holds really, it holds okay. Okay. Now you can do some decorating, like by wrapping some fabric around the edges if you don't want those raw edges shown. Just some pieces of lace or something along the edge. If you want to do that, you can do that. Okay. Are you talking about the measurements for the waterfall? We'll go over all the measurements here in a second, so that way you guys can get started. So just pop this open, just like so. Okay, I'm going to take a piece of this scrap here, and I'm going to cut it. I'm going to cut a 1-inch piece. Since I went and made a boo-boo, an oopsie doopsie, and we're just going to cover it from top to bottom like so. Yeah, I'll do the, I'm so sorry about the waterfall. That bums me out. So here we go. Just like so. Oops. Turn this around. And that way we still have the measurements, but now we've covered up the brads. And I just think that makes a really cool, like, bookmarker type thing for inside your journals. Not a lot of people like to do this. I do it with my golden book pieces too, but you know, it just makes it a little extra. Okay, so here's what we did. Let me get my ruler. Don't let me lose my ruler, you guys. Decide if you're keeping your rings. There we go. See, I told you I'd pop it back into place. I don't even remember which finger it was now. Oh, it was my pinky. It's just a little red. We're good. The base page of the book you can use as a guide. And that measures 5.5 by 8 3/4. But I just, for my regular pages, so the extra pieces, if you want to add just extra pages, do some decorative paper on it, or if you have cardstock and you're using cardstock, you just cut it at 5.5. Punch your holes. Use your other papers from here to do the hole punching. Okay, so punch your holes and then just add this. Okay, and then this adds extra pages to your book. I'm keeping all of my tab pages, but deciding what papers of this that I want to keep and what I want to use as ephemera. Okay, then what I did for this page was I cut it down to 10 inches. I scored it at 5.5 and I folded it over, and that created this page. So we'll do pockets and things like that at another time. And then the waterfall, I made a mistake on. I should have kept it. I should have kept it to the, see, when you close this up, the tabs come out as far as they should. So your pages that you make to add on should not go any further than those tabs, which that would be 6 1/4. Okay, so you can cut a piece 6 1/4 by 8 3/4. Okay, and this will be the base then for your I'm looking for my paper that I wrote down. Here it is. Then you would just do 3 by 5 photos, and then you would cut your pieces that go on top of this to 4 by 5 1/2. So this is 5 1/2. We got 4. Score this at 1/2 inch. Okay, and then these will hold 3 by 5 photos. That's what you'll put on to your page like that for your waterfalls. Okay. All right, you guys, that's going to be it for today. We will be adding more next time that we meet. I'm going to show you more signature stuff. I'll try to meet with you guys next week, and I'll try to do it more like in the evening. So perhaps maybe Monday evening. Okay? All right, you guys have a really good rest of your day. Remember to stay kind, and I got to go make my beef pie. Otherwise, I would stay and we would play some more. Now I have to put all this away because I want to work on the flower journal. Join me at 4:30 today for the flower journal. We're going to work on the waterfalls for that. Okay, so the flower book right here, out on the messy craft corner. We are going to be adding a waterfall to the back cover. Underneath all of this, we're going to add a waterfall, a nice big one. I was even considering doing a double, like a double waterfall. But I don't know. It actually won't work to do a double waterfall. But see, that darn waterfall that I made the boo-boo on would actually be like perfect for this, but I'm not going to do it. It's not going to be long enough, but something like this could get added in. Okay, you guys have a good rest of your day. I'm going to get cleaned up from this, get my pie in the oven, and do all of the things. I hope you all have a good rest of your day. Work on your books. Get your journals cracking, ladies, and see exactly what it is that you want to do. We'll make one of these for in our sewing journal. It's called a page hugger, and they're very easy to make using scrap pieces. This is actually from a my finger does hurt. It is swollen a little bit. It's made from, hey Lisa, what are you doing home, girl, from the snow? It's made from a placemat. Is what I made this from. So, and it, you know, it doesn't fall off like a regular bookmarker. And they're just fun to add into your journals. We'll make one in this group, I promise. And we're also going to make, you guys need to make sure that you get yourself a vintage pattern. Okay? I do have some. If you need one, you should message me. Because we're going to make a mini journal out of this. We're going to make a mini journal out of this. Using just some, you can use coffee dyed paper, you can use any other kind of dyed paper, just plain white copy paper, and I'm going to show you how to make one of these. That's going to be a different day because I want to use the sewing machine to do it, and it's just going to be like a little, look just like the pattern, it'll look just like the pattern, okay, but when you open it, it's going to have a slice in it. When you open it, it's going to be a little journal. And it'll be cute because we're going to just tuck it into a pocket inside of our journals. All right, you guys, have a good rest of your day. Got to go get my supper started. And I'll see you on the page at 4:30. 4:30, okay? Have a good day. Stay kind. And I'll see you soon.